Patrick Mahomes sets another record. Josh Jacobs trolls the fantasy world. Miles Sanders was the ultimate lottery ticket. And we got to watch probably the best game of the year. Week 15 is already coming. Week 14 had a lot going on. Welcome into the Dynasty Mafia podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Antonio. With me, as always, Keenan and Eric. What's going on tonight, fellas?
Besides UB Buffalo University losing to Ball State in the MAC championship, not much, man, not much. I can't believe it's week 15. I feel like we just started talking about the draft last week.
Yeah, it's flying by. But the good thing is, in 2 more weeks, we will finally complete a full 2020 season, which most did not see coming.
Whoa! Let's get the Super Bowl in. Let's not.
Well,
Let's get the
fantasy
Super Bowl.
season.
Yeah.
Fantasy season.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, to be able to get this far and to complete the season it's pretty good. We, as much as COVID has been as scary as it has, we really have only had 2-3 games moved. So and nothing's really been canceled. So not having to have the week 18 like the NFL really secretly had planned just in case. I'm sure everybody's excited that they didn't have to do that, but hopefully, if you're listening, you are in the fantasy playoffs. You're still having a good time with the ride. If you're not, thanks for still sticking around. We're going to be here through the off season, but right now we're going to focus on that second round of the playoffs for most leagues. Again, if you have a Week 17 championship, no bueno. We're going to talk a little bit later about how the Chiefs might have a possibility to ruin Week 17. But other than that, today we're gonna talk some DFS lineups for our Friday. I know we'll be releasing this on Saturday, but it's always good to end the week chatting with some football with you guys. Like I said, we're gonna talk about that Ravens-Browns game, which was pretty crazy. We have our stressed and impressed. We have some dart throws, some players that you may be able to pick up and stick in that flex position, or some deeper leagues, and just recap a bit of 14 and preview 15. So, how was your week? How was your week this week 14, guys?
I'm still in 5 playoff games, so I was in 8 to start, so I went 5-3. So I guess it's all right. Had an okay week. Would have liked to go 8-0, but I'll take 5.
Hey, 63% is pretty good.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. I mean, it's a lot better than I'm doing. I only have two left, I think.
Yeah, remember when you were supposed to beat me in both of the games that we faced off in?
Yeah, we split.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I was going to go 2-0. I didn't say I was going 2-0. I wasn't the one that said 2-0. You were the one. Nice text Sunday morning. Oh, I'm going to kick Keenan out in 2 leagues this week. Then he got stomped.
Confidence is key. But no, I'm still in a Fantasy Cares Eliminator, which I'm really actually excited about. If nobody knows what that is, money goes to Fantasy Cares, run by Scott Fish, part of the Fish Bowl. A lot of that goes towards for tots and things like that. But what it is, it's a best ball elimination every week. So we started with 17 people. We're down to now 3, and so far I haven't come in last. So crossing my fingers. I've been in second so far with the most points this year. Your best ball lineups, if you just draft at the beginning of the year. There's no waivers or adds or drops or anything like that. It's whoever you drafted, and the fishbowl scoring I can't even begin to explain. It's kind of crazy. Quarterbacks lose points for incompletions, so that's kind of fun.
So don't draft Lamar.
Yeah, don't draft Lamar. Josh Allen wound up being a steal, though, for people who didn't want him for that, which I wound up having him in that, which has been kind of helpful. Man, what else? What else is happening?
Let's talk about that Monday night game. I know you guys were sleeping, but
yeah.
I got to watch it.
I was in and out. I went to sleep when it was like 33-20, so I'm like, okay, Baltimore's got this in the bag, and no, I was wrong. They had like another 26 points to score.
Well, Eric was drooling at 7, so it's okay. You made it farther than Eric.
Eric survived.
Hey, I had good reason.
Eric,
Came down,
Eric,
came down with the sniffles.
yeah. So we had a few days. Gave him a few days to recover, and that's why we're back here on the
Yeah.
Friday, heading into Saturday. But yeah, let's talk about that Ravens Browns
Yeah,
game. Damn, like Baker again.
More importantly, I want to talk about Baker and Lamar. You know, that was the best Lamar I've seen in his whole career. I've never seen even though he had left with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter to go take a dump, but cramps.
I was gonna
But
say, I think he's
yeah.
cramping. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
cramp.
Dumping?
Oh,
Come
cramp.
on.
Yeah,
How
but
dare you.
that was the best Lamar I've seen in college and in his MVP year. The reason I say that, his MVP year, he had the best rushing attack, a lot to do with him, the best offensive line, and the best defense. This year, that team is not half as good as what they were last year, and they're counting on Lamar to win them games, and he found a way to win that game even with having some cramp issues. But Baker, 2 games in a row, I thought he was very impressive. I know there was a conversation in one of our chats: is Baker better without Odell? Right now, I'm leaning that he is. I think he isn't scared to spread the ball around right now, and I mean the running game helps a lot. They have Chubb and Hunt, but I mean Hunt's getting involved in the passing game more. I feel like Peoples-Jones is getting involved. Landry is playing well. Where when Beckham's in the game, I feel like they feature him a lot, and Baker's forcing it to make him to keep Odell quiet. But hey, two young quarterbacks played well, and that's a nice sign to see young quarterbacks playing well, especially with a lot of the older quarterbacks getting ready to retire.
So that's a couple of games in a row now that Lamar is playing well. Are you kind of flipping a little bit from your script? I
No.
know we know you to be the registered
No, he
Lamar truther.
he was 2 for 6. Until that, listen, I'm more of a Baltimore offensive coordinator / head coach hater than Lamar hater. They need to get him throwing the ball more. He was 2 for 6 at halftime. You're not going to win like that. And I know Lamar makes some great plays on his feet that no one in this world can do because he's one of the best running quarterbacks in the world, probably. But I think for him to be successful in this league and for him to stay healthy and for that team to win, I think they need to rely on his arm more. And that's what happened. That's what happened in the second half. They're down, and he found a way to win that game with throwing the ball. But until they throw the ball more, Lamar, I don't want anything to do with him.
No, that's true. Well, that's true. I mean, we're definitely going to dive into him. Well, I mean, for Dynasty right now, is he still your top 5 quarterback?
Mahomes, Allen.
Single quarterback.
Mahomes, Allen, Deshaun Watson. Is the kid in LA
I think Russell or
better
Kyler.
than him? Russ,
You saying
Kyler.
Lamar?
Or Herbert. I don't
Or
know if you could
Herbert.
put Herbert yet.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
maybe you
Herbert,
could.
what Herbert's doing? I know Baker did it his rookie year too, with all these touchdowns, and Baker obviously has been struggling the last year or so. I mean, I don't know, man. I got him right outside.
You mentioned
I got him
that.
right outside the top 5 right now.
Wow. So, I mean, Herbert and Lamar aren't really too far apart in age, so I wouldn't really consider that, at least for me, a big difference. So, yeah, I still have Lamar in my top 5. It's
I
just,
got him right
it's
outside.
tough. Yeah, it's tough to put him higher than 5 though, because you have Russell Wilson, who still has a good 5 or 6 years left.
What Deshaun
Kyler
Watson's
Murray,
doing in Houston
yeah.
without a wide receiver 1 or 2 or a good running back. I don't know. What do you think,
And
Eric?
you have to assume they're obviously rebuilding. You know they're rebuilding.
Yeah.
So when they start adding more pieces
Yeah.
that are going to obviously be better pieces for him, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Eric,
I
what's,
agree there. I mean,
what are you
he's-
thinking?
right now, he's still in my top 5. But with how good some of these rookie quarterbacks have been, and seeing how Josh Allen has been this year, Kyler Murray. I'm almost with Keenan. He might even, come next year be pushed out of my top 5 pretty easily, depending on how, he finishes off the year and how he does next year. But I mean, there's a lot of talent up there in the top 10 now. So I think all those guys, in previous years we've all been saying, if you get the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks, then you have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think pretty soon it's going to be, as long as you have a top 10 quarterback, you're going to have an advantage.
Yeah. And I think
nobody's having the gap.
I think after Mahomes, I think it's who's going to have the better game from 1 or 2 to 10. Those quarterbacks, they could all have great weeks and bad weeks.
But I also agree. If they actually get Lamar some wide receivers in there, I think
that's all comes down to coaching and offense coordinator and GM. They kind of they got Hollywood. They drafted wide receivers, Boykin or whatever. They drafted Dobbins. They're just not getting him the right help. I think. I mean, look what Murray and Allen were able to do with true number 1 wide receivers this year. And until I see a true number 1, I got to keep him on.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, man.
Juju would be real nice to go in the slot
Hollywood.
there. Oh, yeah, because they love running 2 tight end sets. So instead of running the second tight end, or keep him there, it's fine. But you could put Juju right in the slot, Marquise on the outside. I mean, Willie Snead's been doing well for them on the outside. They'll get rid of him and let one of the James Proche or Miles Boykin figure that out. But that would be interesting.
Before we move on to Lamar, did you see a company is offering bidets, or what are they called? European toilets to the whole Baltimore Ravens after Lamar Jackson experienced cramps?
Oh my gosh. They're offering bidets.
I'll take one of those.
Hey, no, man, bidets are very classy. I mean, I've never bideted. If that's, I don't know if it's bidet or if you
they're free too.
Had you bidet today? Free, wow. I mean, there's it's funny because my wife and I were looking. There's toilet edition ones that you could have, and if you want to be clean, I guess in a safer, sanitary way.
Put one in my house. I'm sure the
kids
price value of the price value of the house is going to skyrocket through the
Oh my goodness!
We'll have the best house in the neighborhood.
That's right. The first thing in the description.
You won't even put. If I sell the house, the picture on Zillow will be the bidet sitting there. The main picture won't even be the house.
You will never have a bad day with this bidet.
Exactly. Just give me $300,000. It's all yours.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That adds value to the home. You said it.
So hopefully.
So that record, when we were just talking about Mahomes, the guy's had at least 348 yards in 6 out of his last 7 games, and I feel like nobody's even talking about it.
Who? Mahomes.
Like,
what's there to talk about?
Isn't that amazing? The standard.
Just what's there to talk about?
The fact that you even said that, like, the standard of this man is insane.
Yeah.
That he has set upon himself. That we have so many quarterbacks playing so well this year, and he's not even there's no question. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Like Russell, you're gonna put up 60 points. That's fine. Allen, you're gonna go put up 50. Like, we don't care. Like, Mahomes is number 1. Like, it is what it is.
Are you curious at all? I before bedtime, sometimes I'll get myself thinking about football and stuff. What happens when Travis Kelce retires? What happens when they have to spend more money on the other side of the ball? What happens when, they don't have a Sammy Watkins as a wide receiver too? That's going to be the interesting point. Right now, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's got a lot of weapons, and he's got one of the best coaches in the league on his side too. So
I think that's the big thing. Is Andy Reid is a big factor of his success, but also I think Patrick Mahomes is just Patrick Mahomes.
He's good. He's great.
Yeah. We see Byron Pringle, we see Demarcus Robinson consistently.
But now let me ask you a question, Antonio. Since you brought those two up, get rid of Kelce and Sammy Watkins. Put those guys as your top 3 wide receivers. How well Mahomes?
Well, last season that happened. Remember,
No, I
Tyreek
don't.
Hill went out after the
I don't
first
remember.
game.
I don't know what happened yesterday.
So Tyreek Hill went out after the first game last year,
Yeah.
and then Kelsey had some injury issues too, and they were in and out. Like, yes, Mahomes didn't have a great year. We saw that he also got injured, but he was still on pace for almost 40 touchdowns. I
Yeah.
mean, no, is he maybe not going to be on pace for 50 every year? No, but man, is he damn good. And
Because
that's what I'm saying.
I see what Rodgers does when he doesn't have a Devontae Adams. He struggles, and I think Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. So that's my
I
point.
agree with that.
Yeah.
No, it is a good point, but I think
Yeah.
there's also a reason why we've seen elite talent at quarterback play with elite wide receivers, because you have people like Peyton Manning. Did Peyton Manning make Marvin Harrison, or did Marvin Harrison help? Was he already a good wide receiver? So I think that no matter what, the talent's going to continue to follow Mahomes if they get rid of Tyreek.
True. And then Reggie
Somebody
Wayne
replace-
and yeah.
Yeah, right. Like Travis
Yeah.
Travis Henry. I'm sorry, not Travis Henry. Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
Name drop. I mean, yeah, when he's gone, it's going to be a big blow. But I'd imagine they're going to figure out how to replace some type of production like that. Imagine if George Kittle goes to Kansas City. Oh man, in like 2 years, that'd be kind of scary.
Now that you brought up Kittle and Kelsey, can we talk about Darren Waller for 1 second? I know I'm kind of skipping here, but
Oh yeah,
Is
he's
he-
balling.
is he a tight end one right now because of Kelsey's age
Like
and
the
Kittle's?
tight end one.
If in dynasty right now, like if you're
Right.
doing a dynasty league startup right now, would you draft? Would he be your tight end one to draft?
Not for me. I mean, he's one of
You're
my
still taking-
biggest
you're still-
regrets
You're
this
still
season.
taking Kelsey over him
Of course. Man, it's
Really?
Mahomes.
In a
in a
dynasty,
dynasty?
Of course.
in a dynasty, I'm probably.
It's only like what, a
out
3 or
of
4 year
the-
age difference?
I'll give you a better one. In dynasty, this is probably an unpopular opinion now, but I'd take Mark Andrews over him.
Over Waller?
Over Waller. He wouldn't even be in my top 3 still
Yeah.
in a dynasty league.
And I don't know what it is either. But at the same point, I don't know if Carr's going to be there next year, and I think Carr and Waller are tied very much so.
What are you
I don't
talking
know
love
about
his
that
tight
though,
ends.
because I mean, Mariota came in and Waller was balling.
Yeah.
With Mariota.
That's true, but yes,
Last
that
night.
was true too.
Last
But I don't know if I'm sorry, I don't know if the Oakland has their future quarterback. And Waller doesn't really. He's 28, I think. Like he doesn't really have much of a future per se. We're seeing tight ends, very good tight ends, last a while, but that could be 4 years from now. And if you're waiting on Waller, which again, this is maybe just my negative side. Like the guy looks great, his stats are amazing, but he also only gets like 10 yards per catch.
That
So you also
touchdown,
need to rely on him getting 60, 70 plus catches.
that
and
touchdown
touchdowns.
that Mariota threw to him,
Yeah, that was dirty.
it was dirty. But here's the thing: do we see many tight? Does Kittle or Kelsey line up on the outside against a cornerback ever?
No,
Well, the
not much.
reason Waller
But they
can
have-
is because he was a
He
wide
was a
receiver.
wide receiver, and that's my
Right.
point. That's my point. It was a setup question, guys. Pretty much. Darren, he's my number one tight end. If I
That's all I
start,
have to-
if I'm in a new dynasty league this year, he's my tight end one.
Okay,
Just saying.
Wow.
fair.
Wow. It's been said. It's been said.
That
All right.
catch.
Well, that's going to be
that catch
kept.
was
And that's going to be
ridiculous.
talked about. That's all right. I like it. Everybody heard it. Everybody heard it loud. Make sure you tweet at Keenan
Live.
for that one.
Live.
Yeah, we are live on YouTube. I know we have at least 100 minus 100 listeners
No, we had one
or
last week.
viewers.
My wife.
Oh yeah, we might have had one. There we go. Your wife showed up. Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
So we're working on it though. We're getting it going.
Yeah, we had one.
Yeah. So make sure you're checking us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Dynasty Mafia Podcast. But make sure you guys at Keenan for this Waller take at Keenan_716. You can follow Eric at EricD_FF, and you can follow myself at Antonio Denisi FF. So that record I was talking about with Mahomes in the beginning that he set, it's actually the longest sack in NFL history.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. I know a lot of people probably got the notification.
No,
but
it was
a
the
30-yard
longest-
sack.
It was the longest sack that didn't lead to a turnover in NFL history.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
You're filling it in for me. Thank you, sir. Longest sack that wasn't a turnover. There you go. So again, another record under Mahomes. I love it, but he was just trying to do so much. But like the confidence in that man to be able to say, "I'm just gonna keep running and running and running, and if I feel like I can chuck it up, I'm gonna." That was funny.
I mean, when you have all those weapons, you might as well just chuck it in the middle of the field and hope for the best.
I know. Yeah, I mean, with him, he can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry has at least 50 rushing yards for his 22nd straight game, which is the longest streak since 2008-9 season. It's
Why does that not seem a lot to me?
another regret of mine, right?
Why-
It doesn't, right? 50 yards doesn't.
Yeah.
But,
well, no, I'm talking about the
yeah.
22. I'm talking about the 22. I thought he would get that every game he started. At least get 50 yards.
Well, that's pretty close
That's
to every
about-
game he started. He's only been
Oh, is
playing for
it?
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Well, he only started for 2 years. He
Oh.
He was behind Marco Murray. Remember?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
for
Now I
three-
remember.
3 long
Yep.
years.
It feels
So,
so much longer.
I know.
It honestly does. Remember when Lindell White was on their team too?
Oh, geez. And then, oh, gosh. I'm remembering his name. I remember his name. Starts with a B.
Yeah.
He was loved for a second. That kind of let people down in Tennessee. But my point I was going to say to him, too, though, was like, he's another regret of mine this year, along with Waller. Like, even in Dynasty, like, I sold Henry last season. I sold Waller this season. Like, I think I'm going to be getting me some Derrick Henry back this offseason.
Yeah.
Like, I really do.
I'm just with him. I'm so nervous. His running style and the possible injury. You know, you see his running backs get beat up all the time, and so. But
He's
And
the ultimate.
he's fine.
yeah, he is. I guess that's where I'm trying to. This offseason, I told myself that I'm not gonna try to think about future injuries. If the player gets injured, the player gets injured.
He's the ultimate win now
yeah.
kind of asset. I did
Yeah,
that
wait.
last year in the league, and I tried to get him in a few other leagues this year, but it was impossible.
I got him over you.
I always look usually about 2 to 3 years ahead. That's how I determine the way I want to develop my teams, how I think the players will be. I think he could even be great 3 years from now. Like, he
Yeah.
could be great till he's 30. I mean,
As
he's
long as
Adrian
you stay
Peterson's
healthy.
what, 34, 35, and he's doing these things, and he's the next closest thing we've seen to Adrian Peterson in league history, besides Jim Brown. Like, just what he can do is insane, and they started using him in the passing game this year.
You did.
And that's what we were always like, no, if he doesn't get the passing game, which he never did, he can't be a top 2, 3 wide running back.
Mhm.
Maybe even top 5, and we were
Yeah.
wrong.
I
Or at
traded
least I was.
Russell Wilson and Scary Terry for him in a redraft league.
Yeah, like Darrington Evans was the
Yeah.
talk of the town for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited though for what Tennessee's doing because they're doing it very successfully, and they're obviously doing it on the backs of Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. Jalen Hurts, guys. Jalen Hurts. He came in to play. Showed up big time. 18 rush attempts, over 100 yards. Had the most rush attempts by a quarterback this year. What is that saying for you with someone like Doug Peterson that isn't always a Wentz rush first guy? We know Wentz would usually do it when he wanted to, but we saw Miles Sanders finally get a resurgence. We saw Alshon Jeffrey score a touchdown. Like, what do you think about this? They
I was
beat the
mad.
Saints, guys.
I was mad when Sanders had 2 times. I benched Sanders this past week for Wayne Gallman.
Oh man.
Yeah, Wayne Gallman was tearing it up, and Sanders
Doesn't
wasn't.
matter.
And there's a rookie quarterback coming in. I don't know why Eric's laughing. I have good points.
I just hate Gallman.
I hate, dude. I don't know, man.
You gotta
I don't
start
know.
your studs, man.
You gotta.
start your studs.
I always go by that, but if you look at Miles Sanders' production and touches from the last few weeks before this past week, you would have sat him too.
I started Miles Sanders actually.
I'm just saying if you had
No,
had
I know. I very much understand why you did. Trust me. If you had like a James Robinson you picked up off waivers, and you had Alvin Kamara, and you had better wide receivers for your flex,
And a
like
Wayne
trust me, I
Gallman.
understand why you played him. Like and Wayne Gallman, I don't even want to mention him. Sorry, but I probably wouldn't have done it just again because that was Miles Sanders already has 2+7, like 70+ yard runs this season. So
Yeah.
that's why I would have started him, because even the matchup sucks, he has that ability, and then he goes and does an 84-yard touchdown. So that was the advice I was giving people, and that was the advice that I kind of took upon myself. I wound up using him in daily because I liked his value, which turned out to be nice. But you're right, he was the ultimate flipper flop player this season with that game. Like the CEH one, I don't even think was as bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's all I gotta say on him. He made me mad.
So, do you like Jalen Hurts? It sounds like he's obviously going to be starting. They beat
I
the
like him
Saints
this week. Against Arizona.
Yeah, they're going to play Arizona. They're going to Arizona, and I think it's going to be a nice ground game between two running quarterbacks.
Yeah,
It's going to be real fun to see. Kyler Murray came back to his rushing self.
Hurts or Rivers this week.
I think I have to go Rivers. They're playing Houston
Yeah.
at home. I think the ground game is going to work really well for them too, but it sounds like Brandon Cooks is coming back, so
Yeah.
Watson will have a little more firepower.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
How about
Okay.
you, Eric? Yeah, so like I feel like Watson
Yeah.
can still put up some points, so Rivers will have to chase. So I think Rivers will put up some more points. I'm not going to trust that Hurts is going to run the ball 15 plus times again. You know, maybe
might be
that's
careful.
the offense they're going to do. Maybe. Would you
So
say?
they might be careful because he almost cost them the game there at the end, or he
Yeah.
fumbled and
He did. I mean, his arm looks good. Like I like what I'm seeing from him. I do, but obviously I do want to see some more because I think that the leash might be a little short on him too. Like you saw the spark that the team got,
yeah.
but at the same point, if they go downhill this next game and they need to win, I don't know if there's a chance week 17 Carson Wentz gets the reins again, or not week 17. I'm sorry, next week.
And he might. I mean, I'm not completely sold on Hurts. I know they won the game, but that offense in total, they only put up 17 points, and 7 of them came because the one play Miles Sanders had an 80-yard touchdown run, which I don't take anything away from it, obviously, but it's 17 points isn't going to get it done going down the stretch. And not only that, wasn't that the game where the Saints should have had that onside kick at the end there?
Yeah. Yep.
Had a chance to win.
It was sitting right there, and I don't know what happened.
It was clearly the Saints ball. But yeah, I'm not completely sold on him. He only threw for 1 touchdown, and I don't think he's going to run 15 times again like he said. So yeah, I'm definitely going with Rivers there in that.
Okay. All right. That's
All right, I like that. Would you pay a first for him in Dynasty right now, though?
for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
No.
Or do you think would you sell him for a second?
No.
Superflex, obviously, right?
Yeah, you're talking Superflex,
First,
but I
just
would
one quarterback.
no.
Well, all right. 1 quarterback, unless you got like a top 3 guy, you're not getting a first probably. I mean, you might. I've tried before. Unless it's just the leagues we're in, maybe. But it's tough in a 1 quarterback
definitely
league. Just devalue quarterbacks so hard.
Yeah, but it's definitely a sell high opportunity if you're not really believing in him. Would you agree? Or at least, I mean, I don't know if you're trading. Obviously, if your trade window's open.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I in a 1.
I
was
hang on.
debating on a
Second, though,
first
would you
and a
take
second
Keenan?
flex.
No, I'd hang on to him. He's a young player. I
Okay.
mean, just look around the league. These young quarterbacks have played really well. And say, next year at this time he's the starter there and he's playing really well, you might be able to get that first that you're talking about. Right now, I don't think you're getting a first. I don't think a second. But a second, what are you doing with that second? You're drafting another type of player like Jalen Hurts who has potential and might be good. You might as well hang on to him, the way I see it. But I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said that the Eagles team has energy and they got a little spark or whatever. But did you guys see what Miles Sanders said after the game? How he was impressed with Jalen Hurts' strong leadership. Why is a rookie have better leadership than your franchise quarterback?
Yeah, well, I felt like that could have been a shot. Like
Even if it was a shot,
Carson, obviously, but
yeah.
They
It's
have
time to
talked
move on
obviously
then.
about his leadership questions. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Like when he's on the bench, like people were already talking about once the benching happened, like Carson's not going to be the guy cheering him on the sideline, and obviously I
He
don't
will.
think he really
Yeah.
was. I didn't really see him,
Yeah.
but he's going to be the guy on the bench, moping or hoping that it doesn't go well, and like that's not what you want. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's time Carson does get a new
Telling you,
place to go. Like,
Carson will be the new quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts
I'm
next
gonna
season.
say that. I'm gonna say the Patriots.
Patriot. It probably will be, and he's going to end up being great.
that'll be like the most Bill Belichick thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be tough. You're right. I think Indy's going to battle Frank Reich, the old coordinator with Philly. He's going to get a chance with him. But let's move. Let's talk about Kyler and Kenyon Drake real quick. Kyler just really quickly because he had 13 rushes, so he's back to kind of rushing again. He didn't really do so much. He didn't really do so much through the air, but he at least was rushing again. But it was only 42 yards, 47 yards. So he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry. Not as much as he's been doing, but do you believe in him now this week, going against Philadelphia? Um, do you think you can trust in him being a potential top 5 player?
Go ahead, Eric. I've done enough talking.
Was it?
Kyler, can he be a top 5 option this week against Philadelphia? Do you trust the 13 rushes, even though you didn't pass too much? But they kind of dominated the Giants, so take that for what you will.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like we've talked about before, since he took that hit, it seems like he's been running a little bit less, and Kenyon Drake seems to be getting a little bit more work. But I think he's always a threat to be a top 5 because he's gonna have the rushing threat no matter what, and he's got DeAndre Hopkins throwing the ball too, and Christian Kirk and Larry Fitz. So do I think he will be maybe not top 5, but I think he'll definitely be in the top 10. But he definitely has the potential.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a rushing touchdown in 4 weeks. And ironically, in the last 4 weeks, Kenyon Drake has had 5 rushing touchdowns. So, can you trust Kenyon Drake and Kyler Murray? I mean, I am 100% believe that they rely on each other. Like, one cannot do well with the other, also doing well on the ground. So, what do you think, Eric?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kenyon Drake, I'm playing him in my lineups with the way he's been playing recently, no matter what. But I mean, even if Drake has a good game, I still believe Kyler can get himself in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's only averaging like 3.5 yards a carry right now, but it is the 5 touchdowns that are saving him. So I don't know. I personally, yeah, I think you might have to play him because of what they've been doing, but it's very tough that if you have Kyler, can you trust him to get over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns again? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Start your studs. If you got this far with them, start them.
Wow. So I know I just said that. I really do. I get that, but I think I might be going against that this week.
Well, we're gonna have another Miles Sanders conversation next week.
I mean, I have to play this player in my because I just don't have better options.
Yeah.
But like I bench Ezekiel Elliott if I could this week.
Yeah.
RJ, can I speak on Kyler?
I mean, we're gonna talk about him a little bit later. No, we passed. Sorry, I'm just kidding. You're good.
Oh, but did we realize that he is currently the number 1 quarterback on the year? Did we mention that?
Is he back up there?
Did we freeze? He's number. I'm looking
I
on
don't think I
Fantasy
knew that
Pros
he was back
website.
up there.
Yeah, he's beaten Patrick Mahomes by 2 points. Just wanted to mention that since we just talked about him.
I see where you got that from, Eric.
What?
Okay.
I see where you got that from.
Oh yeah,
your little stat there.
I'm Fantasy Pros. Why not?
I was just looking at the same thing.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, as interesting as that is, he did have a very, very, very good first 10 games. So, just like Russell Wilson's still top 3, top 4, I think. So take that for what you will. But Ezekiel Elliott's against San Francisco this week. He's actually one of my stresses, so I kind of, maybe I'll just talk a bit about him now. But he's also just like he's not getting the work that he should be getting. He's getting the touches, but they're nothing. He's gotten 10 for 32, 12 for 48, 18 for 77. But realistically, he's got 100-yard rushing game on the year. The San Francisco is top 5 in rushing yards allowed, bottom 5 in rushing yards allowed. They're bottom 5 in points allowed against the fantasy position with running backs. He's just, it pains me to be saying that because I never thought I would be saying this at the beginning of the year at all about Ezekiel Elliott. Obviously, we know the Dak injury, but I thought even with a Dak injury, he would be.
I got a question. I got a question for you guys. So, I don't know if you guys think it's possible, but maybe I just thought of it. But do you think they could just be taking it easy on him for the remainder of the year? Keep him fresh until Dak comes back?
No, because he had 23, 13, 24, and then 15 touches. So, he's still getting the ball, but they're also getting behind in games, which is where he was getting used. Last week, he had 15 touches, and then they were up 30-7. But his problem, though, is that he's only topped single-digit PPR points twice since Week 7. He's still getting the usage. He has, let's see, right now he has 256 touches. So it's not like he's not getting the ball. That's 256 in 13 games. So that's almost 20 touches a game. That's where he's about at. That's what he's been doing. It's just he's just not doing well because Dalton's just doing horrible, and he's been getting very few targets in the passing game, and he's only top 20 yards once receiving with Dalton.
Yeah, luckily the one league I had him in, I'm no longer in. But if I was, I know that if I sat him, I couldn't live with myself if he goes off.
That's my problem too. But how is he going to go off? He doesn't even. I think he has one run over 20 yards this whole year. I justified that with Miles Sanders because
you never know.
I know. Well, you do. Zeke isn't a guy that breaks those long. Miles Sanders has done it now for 2 years. Yes, I get it.
Yeah, I'm having a big game. Yeah, but
no, he definitely could. He gets the touches. That's the other argument. I argued yesterday. You got to play Josh Jacobs. I was asked Josh Jacobs for T.Y. Hilton, right? We talked about that. And a big reason is because Jacobs is going to get the workload. And what did he do yesterday? He put up over 20 points. But I think I'm playing Swift, of course, but I think I might play McKissick against Washington, Dobbins against Jacksonville, Kareem Hunt at the Giants. I think I would play those 3 over Zeke.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really,
I'm thinking about this as you guys are talking about it.
Like I said, Keenan, he's only had over double digits twice in the last 8 games.
I know I just said Miles Sanders last week. It's tough. It's tough to sit your studs, but
you just got scarred.
I wouldn't blame anybody for sitting Zeke right now because of what he's done.
Why don't we talk about some studs right now and actually just kind of jump right into our stress and impress? What do you guys think about that? Since Zeke's one of my stresses, you want to go into that?
Sure.
All right. You sure, Keenan?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Elliott here. I don't know.
I know it's depressing.
So Anthony, you talk about your stresses first, then.
All right. So I just talked a lot about Zeke. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse there. My second one's Devontae Parker against New England. We know the last 2 times he's played New England, he has burned them, right? We get it. Who is his quarterback, though? Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's not happening. It's going to be the rookie, Tua Tagovailoa. They played a rookie 2 weeks ago in Justin Herbert. He was shut out 45-0. I'm not saying that's going to happen against Tua, but Belichick is going to do his Belichick thing, and I think they're going to shut down Miami. Thankfully, Gesicki's supposed to be playing. Jakeem Grant's supposed to be playing, so it will give a little less pressure on Parker. Not too much, but he's going to be seeing Stephon Gilmore, and I hope it doesn't go too bad. I hope they can win. I really do. It's going to be a close game, hopefully. But you know that New England's going to try everything they can to keep the ball away from Miami. And Cam Newton's a running quarterback. That's what they're going to do. My third one is Terry McLaurin against Seattle. I'm sitting Terry McLaurin this week too, guys. Alex Smith's on track to miss, which is actually a positive, I think, for McLaurin because he's been doing better with Dwayne Haskins. So it could be a better opportunity, but I don't know if it's enough. The last passer to top 300 yards against Seattle was Jared Goff in Week 10. That was 5 games ago. And he didn't even throw a touchdown in that game. So they've only allowed 6 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks to quarterbacks. Now, fortunately, they've played the Jets, the Giants, and the Eagles. But still, in those games, they've combined for like 450 passing yards. They played the Cardinals and the Rams, and Kyler had 2 touchdowns and 249 yards. So not a crazy game. But they have been doing really well lately. They are now finishing up their run against the NFC East. And what a great matchup for them. But again, the fact is, though, I know it's not – they've played the Jets, Giants, and Eagles and whatever, but they're playing Washington. They're playing Dwayne Haskins. That's not good. So they are first against wide receivers, but that's deceitful. You need to look into that because after allowing a 100-plus yard receiver in each of their first 5 games, they have not allowed more than 94 yards. They have not allowed more than 94 yards since Week 5, to a wide receiver. So I think McLaurin's struggles in his last couple of games are going to continue.
Not scary Terry.
I know, I don't like saying that, but dude, Seattle's actually been playing really well.
They have. Both.
They really are killing it against wide receivers.
Yeah, their defense definitely has improved since, I guess, that Bills game. So I guess I'll go with my stresses. First one, Matt Ryan playing the Bucks. I mean, guys, I'm done with the Matt Ryan experiment. I know you and all of us have talked about, his leap year and whatnot. My man is struggling. He comes into Week 14 with 17 fantasy points in less than 4 games in a row. He's just not doing it for me. I actually dropped him, picked up 2 quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Rivers, in a league where I'm number 1, and I just could not trust him. And he doesn't have Julio this week, guys. And in the previous 4 games where Julio missed, Ryan is averaging 11.3 fantasy points a game. That is not going to cut it for me to make it to the championship in this week's game. And the last 2 games against Tampa, Ryan has scored a combined 22 fantasy points. I don't know about you guys, but
yikes,
that's only 22 more than I've scored. So,
can I put a little note in between that?
Sure.
I know that we've been that Ryan's been horrible this year, but do you know that Calvin Ridley, my love, has only had 2 out of his 12 games this year where he hasn't had at least 90 yards or a touchdown?
So what do you think? What do you think the problem is?
I think just the problem is he never has a consistent offensive coordinator. I really do. He's never had one for more than 2 years that we were talked about in the offseason.
Do you think it's a lack of run game again?
That's the thing too. I mean, I know we're gonna talk about Gurley in a second.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Gurley coming up here with my stress.
So why don't you lead right into that right now? Because I kind of want to talk about him.
Sure. So he's playing the Bucks, obviously. Honestly, there's no reason to trust Gurley for the rest of the year, especially this week. It's a tough matchup. Gurley is combined for 9 PPR points in the past 3 games, guys, and that's horrible. He's been. Hold on. Sorry, I got my previous stress pulled up still. He's at 9 total. And Matt Ryan still pulled up, and I'm looking at it. I'm this doesn't sound right. He's had 9 total touches or less in each of the last few games. He's losing work to Smith, who might be the better option there in Atlanta because who knows if Gurley's knees are even healthy anymore. Smith might have some fresh legs there. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you might want to involve more Smith, less Gurley. But there isn't any way you can trust the Falcons running game at all, either running back this week. Tampa has allowed 1 rushing touchdown since week 9, and only Delvin Cook has rushed for more than 60 yards this season on them. So I think the Todd Gurley experiment is over in Atlanta. I think they're going to try to get a running back in the draft. I don't think they can move on from Matt Ryan because the dead cap is about $50 million. So
no one's trading for him.
The only option I see is draft a young quarterback, sit him behind Ryan until next year when the dead cap is at $24 million, then build around and start adding young pieces into that offense right now, and then add that quarterback later on.
I don't know though. Even at $24 million, that's a lot.
That's a lot, but I mean, from 50 to 24, from 50 to 24 is really, huge.
Yeah, but are we really that worried though? Like Matt Ryan's got to have at least 3 or 4 years left. From what we're seeing with quarterbacks, he might have more. Like Calvin Ridley, 3 or 4 years from now, he'll be 28, 29, still in his prime.
Honestly, has Matt Ryan been the same since he's blown that lead in the Super Bowl?
I think they're going to want to keep going with Matt Ryan, Julio, and Calvin Ridley. I think you're right. I think they try and draft a running back, and I think they try and get this offense back on track and try and go after a Super Bowl with, whatever they got remaining out of Julio and Ryan.
No. Yeah.
Side note for anyone that's
what?
Anyone that's thinking about next year's fantasy class, UB's running back just got hurt and he's limping off the field.
Woof.
And they're down by 3 scores. That's a dirty move. Oh my god. That is so dirty. It was pretty much the was it Eckler who got hurt? Oh, who got hurt when Carson. When the guy did the alligator roll, that's literally what just happened.
Yeah, that sucks. That's not good. But sorry, I got lost for a second. I wanted to ask you guys with Todd Gurley, is this the last time we ever start Todd Gurley in fantasy again?
Yes, I'm done. He's going to be a backup next year. There's no way he's going to get a full workload.
The last time we ever start him, maybe not, because like you said, he's going to be a backup. But if he might, because of injury, he might end up getting a starting job in the future at some point. But in a starting sense, yeah, you're not, as a starter on your fantasy team. He's done.
What do you do if you have him in a dynasty league?
Yeah, you suck.
There's nothing you really can do.
You might be able to. Honestly, though, I probably around draft time would sell him. See what you can get him around.
I try to sell him
like a 3rd round and get a player.
I try to sell him throughout this whole season. When he was getting 50 yards a game and a touchdown almost every game, I'm like, all right, time to sell him. And no one was biting. No, and I wasn't asking for a lot. I just wanted like a middle row wide receiver or something to help me out, or a 2nd round pick, but no one wanted to take the risk.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's going to happen either. I think you have to wait.
Yeah. UB is getting steamrolled, guys, in the MAC championship right now.
Keenan, why don't you finish your stress?
4th down, 4th and 3, and they throw a little. Well, I don't even know what the hell this is. They throw it behind the line of scrimmage, and he gets tackled. Bad offensive coordinating. Last one. Sorry, guys. I got Mr. Bernard, Cincinnati running back. He's playing Pittsburgh. Even though Joe Mixon's still expected to be out, I think Mixon's probably done for the year. Bernard has been awful for the 5 games in a row, and things shouldn't improve this week against the Steelers, who have held how many points? They've held them to 8 PPR points in Week 10. So with the last 5 games of him playing so awful, I'm not starting Bernard. I think he's actually losing carries to Pirine. Is that who the other running back is over there?
Trayvon Williams got some.
And isn't Pirine over there too?
Yeah, I think Samaj is there too.
Yeah, so he's losing carries too, and yeah, he only had 6 total touches in Week 14 against Dallas after he fumbled. So the coaching staff has lost confidence in him, and Bernard never fumbles too, which was shocking to see. I think he's
Yeah,
had
that was
one
really
fumble.
really unfortunate. He kind of hurt me in
Yeah,
one of my games, and yeah, it was right in the first drive, and
yeah.
he only got one another touch the rest of the game.
He had 6 altogether. I don't know. I don't know how many he got throughout
Mm.
the game.
Cool. All right, I think that's your stresses. Eric, how about you?
Yeah. So my first one is going to be the Bengals wide receivers. Um, I'm really not trusting either of them, especially not Boyd or Higgins going into this because, you know, it's just that offense is it's just not producing. And you're in the semifinals. You need to your team needs to go off if you want to make it to the championship, and they're just not going to get it done for you. Um, then my second one, it's going to be kind of a 2-1 because someone over there stole one of my other ones.
You know, he likes to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm
like
used to it, so I should just always have a backup.
Eric. It's like we don't have a show sheet. Excuse me, that he sends to us on Saturday nights.
It's not
All
my
right.
fault.
Well, it's all right though. I'll do a little 2-for-1 here. It's David Johnson and Deshaun Watson going up against the Colts. Um, David Johnson. He's saying he expects to be fully in, and I'm not buying it. I don't know what that offense is going to produce. There's no Will Fuller, and we saw Deshaun struggle last week. I'm just not convinced that they're going to be able to get it done this week, going up against Colts, who are one of the top defenses in the league, and yeah, I'm stressing on them a little bit. But yeah, those are mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I know we were talking about Watson kind of doing his thing, so I agree with you with Johnson though.
Yeah, well, I had to find one. Okay.
Yeah, that was
that
an audible.
That was my
That was an
fault.
audible.
I know it was not, but it's a good audible. It was a good audible. Audible. Yeah. Was that your? Did you go through all yours? I wasn't. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Well, yeah, he
All right.
went through all. He went through all 4.
What a good job you did there. All right, I'm gonna switch over to my impress. I got Jared Goff versus the New York Jets. Kind of an easy one in my mind. They give up the most points to the quarterback position. The Jets just got torched 40-3 by Seattle, and he may not have turned out to be the top 5 quarterback that myself and us and we were kind of hoping he would be this season, but he can still put up the points like one. He's top 25 points 5 times this season, so he has the ability to do that. And he gets Seattle in championship week next week, so if you have him for the Jets, you might be able to hold him on again for this week. But I think he's going to be able to do really well. It's going to be a great jump back game, or not jump back game, but they just played against New England. They were able to handle the game, but they weren't able to just unload like they wanted to. So I think they're going to be able to do it against the Jets to warm up for Seattle. My second one is going to be Cole Beasley at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are the definition of what injury plagued is on the defensive side of the football. They're missing so much on their front 4. They're missing defensive backs. They're missing cornerbacks. Their top 3 cornerbacks, actually. They actually may have to stick a third-round rookie on Stephon Diggs this week, so that's going to be a really good game for him, as I expect. But I think that Cole Beasley, who's going to be able to get even less pressure seen on him, is going to just open it up for Josh Allen. He had 10 catches and over 100 yards last week, or I think he could be in line for another 10 catches and 100 yards. But Buffalo hasn't taken their foot off the gas really in any game this year, and I think they're going to want to keep it moving against Denver. It's going to be a pretty lopsided game in my mind.
Can you say that one more time?
It'll be which part?
The Buffalo hasn't taken their foot off the gas.
Did I mess it up again?
No, you didn't. It was just nice to hear that our team is, playing good offense for once in our 20 years of being football fans.
Yeah, it's crazy. If we're up, we're not stopping. So that's really good for fantasy, especially like I said, for Diggs and Cole Beasley. So I know the Broncos picked up Will Parks, free agent this week. I don't think he's probably going to be covering Cole Beasley. So I'm not too worried. My third one is Brandon Ayuk. I'm staying hot with Brandon Ayuk. He fully exploded last week, getting 16 targets, having 10 catches, 119 yards. He's now had at least 100 yards, or he's had at least 100 yards or a touchdown now in 5 straight games, at least 17 and a half PPR points in each of those games. And I don't care who's slinging the ball to him, they're going to be getting the ball his way. Debo is now out. We already know George Kittle's out. They have nobody to throw to. So the Cowboys have averaged giving up at least 19.5 points per game against wide receivers that get targeted more than 6 times. And Ayuk's been averaging over 8 targets a game. So I think he's going to have a really good week again. And we know Shanahan gets creative. So Brandon Ayuk is going to be a great DFS play, which we're also going to talk about after this.
You just talked me into starting Cole Beasley.
You're god darn right I should have. Another good.
Well, Michael Thomas is out, so
Yeah.
I'm going to start Cole Beasley.
Dude, he's going to have a great game.
I hope so. Eric, do you want to go or do you want me to go? Or did you go already?
I'll go.
All right,
I'll
go
go
ahead, buddy. Yeah.
My first one's DJ Moore going up against the Packers. This is more, I think the Packers are going to be up and the Panthers are going to be, coming from behind, and they're going to have to keep up. It's more so, I think the Packers are going to make sure they're throwing points down their throats, just because the Packers they're fighting to stay on top to keep that bye week. I think the Saints are tied with them at 10-3, and the Rams are actually 9-4. They're right behind them as well. So they're going to be putting points up. And not only that, Jared Alexander is also probably going to be spending time covering Robbie Anderson. He might switch between both of them, but it'll free some space up for DJ Moore to get some looks. My second one is J.D. McKissick going up against Seattle. This is another one where I think the Washington is going to be having to throw to keep up, and I think this could be a game where you see J.D. McKissick get those double-digit targets. Just mainly on that, I think he's going to have a good game in PPR leagues, of course, just based off of that. And then my third one is Cam Akers going up against the Jets. I think the Rams are going to get up early, and they're going to be able to control this game, and they can just ride into the sunset with Cam Akers and just hand him the ball off for the entire second half.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping for another big game. But yes, those are my 3.
Look, the rookie running backs are starting to come around for sure. I know we've seen rookie wide receivers for the most part this season, but I mean,
and like how I kind of mentioned last week, I think the past couple of weeks have shown that everyone was a little bit worried about the running backs coming out of this class, because first half of the year, but they're really starting to come on now, and I think it was more so they all had to kind of learn the playbooks and just kind of get acclimated, but
yeah,
they're coming along.
Yeah, well, speaking of rookie running backs, my first stress is a rookie running back. Or impress, I'm sorry. He's my start of the week, guys. J.K. Dobbins against the Jags. The Jags' run defense has been miserable this season, guys. I don't know if you guys caught a Jags game yet this year, but it's been very bad. In the last 3 games against Cleveland, Minnesota, and Tennessee, the running backs on those teams have combined for 561 yards and 3 touchdowns, along with 14 catches and 126 yards and a receiving touchdown. That's a lot. That's a lot of yards to give up for one position. And Dobbins has scored in 3 games in a row and has at least 70 yards rushing on 2 of those 3 outings. I feel like slowly but surely this offense is starting to give J.K. Dobbins the running back RB1 position there in Baltimore. Second one, Jalen Hurts. I know it's tough to start a rookie quarterback making a second NFL start in a fantasy playoff game, but guys, I'm doing it. I know you guys said Rivers, but I'm doing it. I'm starting Hurts over Rivers this week. He did a solid job this past week against New Orleans with 20 fantasy points. He only had 167-yard passing, but he had 106 yards on the ground. He faces Arizona this week, and the Cardinals have allowed 5 of their last 7 quarterbacks to score at least 23 fantasy points, and the only 2 were Cam and Daniel Jones not to score at least 23 fantasy points. Arizona has also struggled against running quarterbacks over that same span. They gave up to those 5 quarterbacks, they give up 35 yards at least. So I could see Hurts having, at least 50 and a touchdown running. So I'm starting him. If you're in a bind, I think you should take a look at him. Last one, Mike Davis against Green Bay. I've been a Mike Davis fan here and there, but this week I think I'm gonna start him for sure. But I know he struggled and then he had a great week last week. But with McCaffrey out and he's scored at least 15 PPR points in the last 2 of the 3 games, I think in a favorable matchup against the Packers, you got to start him. The Packers have allowed a running back to gain at least 100 yards in every game but one game this season. Isn't that crazy, guys? Every game but one. And the Packers are among the league leaders with 74 receptions allowed to running backs this year. 8 running backs have at least 4 catches against Green Bay. So I know I've said some bad things about Mike Davis the last couple of weeks because he hasn't produced like he did earlier in the season, but I think he continues what he did this past week.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, exactly. He did it last week, and they're gonna use him again, man. They're gonna use him again. So hopefully you held on to him.
Yeah.
Good job there. Is that all? That wraps us all up there, right?
Yeah, unless you stole one of Eric's dresses.
I was thinking about stealing an Impress. I took
Impress,
care of all this stress.
we usually do Impress first and stress second, but
Yeah, I know. I switched it up a little bit there, and I know we switched up a few things today. But I want to talk about.
It's a big UB touchdown here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a big need, big need. So let's talk about some dart throws real quick, all right? So there's some players I want to talk about that could be a little sneaky here. Probably owning less than 60% of your leagues. So you might be able to find them on the waiver wire if you need to fill in like a flex spot or a deep league, 3 wide receivers, or maybe if you're just plagued in general, or just somehow made it into the playoffs and you need some guys. So. I just want to hear from you guys if you would pick them up or not, all right, or start them or not. All right, so Peyton Barber for the Giants. Or, I'm sorry, the Redskins.
No.
With no Antonio Gibson, all right.
No.
How about Jeff Wilson Jr.?
No, Raheem Mostert is healthy.
I agree.
So you're playing Mostert.
Yes.
I'm not playing either of them. If
Okay.
Mostert was injured, then yes, I'd start Wilson. Or if Wilson was injured, I'd start Mostert. But I'm staying away from that backfield this week.
Okay. Selvin Ahmed, if he plays.
New England, right?
Yeah, Miami's got New England.
Yeah, New England struggled on a run game lately. So yeah, let's start them.
Yeah.
Okay. Sony Michel, maybe Damian Harris might not be playing.
Same thing with that backfield. They still have James White, right?
Yeah.
Still there, right? I'd stay away from that.
James White is he's questionable to be playing too, but they probably will get him back. Okay, DeAndre Washington.
If I'm starting Ahmed, I'm not starting Washington.
Right.
And vice versa.
Okay, what about Lynn Bowden? 6+ catches last few games.
Is he the other Miami running back?
He is, but he gets used in the passing game, so he gets used he's been lining up outside as a wide receiver.
No.
I would plug him in as a flex. I really would. What about Gus Edwards? I know you're starting Dobbins, so
If you absolutely need to, but I'm not excited about it.
okay. Ito Smith.
I'm thinking about it in one league. He's a free agent right now, and I'm thinking about it because I'm in that one league. I have like 7 injuries.
Yeah.
And my 3 running backs that I'm choosing to start are Ahmed, Washington, and Bernard. So I'm thinking about it.
You need us. You need this. How about you, Eric? You said maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't touch Ito Smith right now. I think I can only.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
If you're in a
Nelson
bind like I
Aguilar.
am, you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Nelson Aguilar. He's had 35 targets in his last 4 games.
Well, didn't they play
Well,
last
they
night?
already played, so
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm-
Damn it.
so-
Old news.
Let
Old
me look at his
news.
stats. I'll tell you if I'm going to start him or not.
He had 4 catches for 49 yards. What about Chad Hansen? He's had 12+ PPR points in the last 2 games. But, like we said, Brandon Cooks is probably playing. Would you still play him?
No.
Okay. Russell Gage. Now that Julio's not playing,
I
he's
would,
been getting
yes.
10 plus targets. Yeah. What about Rashard Higgins or Donovan Peoples-Jones?
I'd probably rather play Higgins, even though I do like me some
Yeah, they're at the
Peoples
Giants.
Jones. But I try to find a different option.
Yeah, he's been getting. You have to rely on him getting the long catches, and it's
Yeah.
tough to believe in that with Baker. All right, Keenan, let's move to your beauty.
My love.
Your love here. So we've had some breakouts between Cole Kmet, Irv Smith here. Are you going to start either of them with, Jimmy Graham got the touchdown last week, which kind of made me mad, but are you going to play Kmet this week?
I'm not ready to play him in a playoff game, but I think I'm ready to play Smith Jr. I think is Rudolph playing? I don't think Rudolph's playing, right?
So no, he's not, and they're playing against each other.
Yeah,
Kmet and Irv Smith.
if I had to pick one, I'd start Irv Smith over Kmet this week, but they're both going to be great.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Irv Smith's a real good DFS play. He had 16.3 points last week, 63 yards and a touchdown. We know what Kirk does with his tight ends. What about Durham Smith or Adam Shaheen? Well, actually, I said Gesicki's playing, so we're going to scratch that. So that's our dart throws. All right. I like it.
He's playing?
They say he's probably going to play, yeah.
It looked like his arm was broken.
Yeah, I know, but he went through walkthrough. And they said that everything was looking good. And actually, I didn't even see the update for today because that was just yesterday. Yeah, he's officially questionable. Yeah, he got doing everything he can to get out there. So all of a sudden, he's ready to play, and he's had 17 targets the last 2 games. So let's talk about our DFS players, and we'll wrap up the SOD. How does that sound?
I guess
That's like a plan.
Sounds good.
I got one question. So we saw Keenan Allen play last night. It's now 5 out of the last 6 games. He's had 52 yards or less.
I'm not counting last night just because he was injured and limited. He was, they had him on a snap count, so. And he did
Well, that
have
still
an
makes it
end
4 out of
target,
5. Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I think it's kind of a direct result of Herbert struggling a little bit as well. And I think that'll turn around.
I agree. All right, Keenan.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you start us off with your DFS lineup?
Sure. I got Jalen Hurts for $5,900 playing Arizona. Derrick Henry playing Detroit, 32nd ranked defense for $9,500. I know I just said I wouldn't start Jeff Wilson, but I'm taking a little gamble here on Jeff Wilson having a good game for $5,100. T.Y. Hilton, I know Antonio, you're big on him this week. He's playing the 23rd ranked pass defense in Indy, or against Houston, I'm sorry, for $5,500. Corey Davis, he's lighting it up. He's playing the 27th defense this week for $5,800. I'm taking another gamble on Michael Gallup for the price, $3,500. Hopefully he can get a touchdown. My tight end is Dallas Goedert. My flex is Brandon Ayuk playing Dallas, 31st ranked defense for $6,300. And I got the Rams defense against the Jets for $4,500.
Oh, paying up for the defense.
Yeah. See, it took a couple gambles on Wilson and Gallup. I know Gallup hasn't had the year that he wanted, and we just talked about Wilson and Mostert, but you got to try to cut back on some positions, and hopefully that Wilson can have a good game like he has in the past.
Yeah, that's true. Eric, what do you got? I'm not going to steal anything.
Yeah, I hope not. So I went. I don't know how happy I am about it, but I'm going for gold here because he was a cheap option. But I went with the Bears stack with Mitchell Trubisky and Allen Robinson. Trubisky was $5,500. A-Rob was $7,400. I think they're going to be playing from behind and going to have to throw to keep up. Not only that, but Trubisky's been he's been playing pretty good the past couple of weeks. He threw 3 touchdowns last week, so hoping he keeps it going and keeps passing it to A-Rob. And for my running backs, I got Raheem Mostert and Cam Akers. Mostert was 5,800. Akers was 6,600. My other wide receivers, I got Tyreek Hill, 8,800. And then we just talked about him, Russell Gage for 4,700. In my flex position, I got Emmanuel Sanders now that Mike Thomas is out, and I got him for 4,200. And then my tight end, I got Irv Smith Jr. Kyle Rudolph is out of that game, and like I said, I think Minnesota's going to be putting up points, so I think he's going to get a decent amount of targets. And for my defense, I got 49ers for 3,100.
All right. I can mess with that one. That's not too bad. I went with the Colts stack, and I started with Phillip Rivers. And there's a lot of good, Keenan, you had Hurts for 5,900, Goss for 6,300. My impressives. Trubisky's down there at 55. Eric. There's a lot of good low quarterbacks this week. But yeah, I went with Keenan. I went with Derrick Henry too. You gotta. He's killing it. Jonathan Taylor.
How much was he?
He's also going to do really well, I think.
72.
He's 32nd ranked defense, 7,200. He was 2,300 less than Derrick Henry. And then I got Hollywood Brown at 5,600. He's got a touchdown in 3 straight games. Gets to play Jacksonville's awesome defense. That's a joke. Then I'm stacking, like I said, the Colts. I got T.Y. Hilton. I got Lynn Bowden as my other wide receiver. He's got 16 targets in his last 2 games. So that's why I think Miami, he's going to get some targets, even though Jakeem Grant's supposed to be coming back. And then I got Keenan's boy, Irv Smith Jr. And I got Brandon Ayuk, my other impress, in my flex. And then I got the Vikings defense. They get Trubisky and his true problems. Hopefully, true problems.
Was that supposed to? Were we supposed to laugh?
I don't know. I'm crying on the inside though. All right. Well, that's
I like that.
DFS.
I like that. So Eric's got Trubisky playing well, and you got him playing bad.
I just rely on there's opportunities for pick sixes and interceptions, and that's where you really want to get a defense to kind of
Speaking of interceptions, UB just picked off Ball State. There's a flag on the field.
Man,
they're down by 10.
That sounds like too much. All right.
Speaking of Jonathan Taylor,
we're going to wrap the show. But speaking of Jonathan Taylor, where are you drafting him in a startup next year in Dynasty?
I want to say he's higher than Hilaire right now for me. It's been such a weird season with these guys.
Is DeAndre Swift higher than Taylor for you?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's who?
Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
No, Jonathan Taylor out of this rookie class right now, the way he's played the past 2 weeks, finally broken out, I think he's the 101.
But you can't say that, Eric.
In the startup?
No, the 101 out of the rookies. I'm saying.
No, I said, where would you take him in a startup?
Yeah, I know. I was just saying out of these rookies so far.
Well, that's what he was. What he was.
I guess for a startup, he might be
he's gotta be
in my
top 15,
3.
Right?
Listen, you can't say that he's
5.
You
Top
can't
15,
say that.
maybe.
You can't say that just because he's had 2 good weeks and not count the rest of the weeks.
If you're taking the top 5, that means
he started
you're
off
taking
the
him.
year pretty good for a rookie. Just because he wasn't what everybody expected doesn't mean he wasn't, at least doing something.
I don't know, but the stat
there was no off season. They needed time to learn the playbooks. They needed time to acclimate themselves. They finally did, and now they're all going off, just like we all expected them to. So, yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor is what everyone thought he was going to be, and I think he's going to be that going forward.
But is that going to be the overall running back 1?
I didn't know.
Can he do that?
I mean, he can.
Well, if he's top 5 for
Absolutely.
you, if he's top 5 for you, I mean, you're not going to say, are you going to take Devontae Adams over him, Tyreek Hill over him? I feel like he's probably is he a top 10? I think top 5 is obviously stretching, but I know we're kind of off the cuff with this.
Is it though?
But
Is it?
I mean, like I said, you have to be saying he's your running
I
back number
will.
2.
I will bet 6-packs to both of you. In dynasty startups next offseason, he's going to be a top 5 pick no matter what.
What,
And you can't
2022?
pick them.
Yeah.
And you can't
20
pick them.
Well, 2022, that's, I mean,
Oh, you're talking about 2 years from now?
that's
Nah.
a whole different world.
So how's that whole? But if you think he's
Because
definitely
that's a
gonna
whole
be
nother
top 5
season
then,
by now.
but then it's not crazy that this next coming off season that he's top 5.
Well, it is. It's a whole nother year because then we got to see another year of him being great and amazing. And if he's great and amazing next year, then people know he's going to be great and amazing. I mean, we're seeing what we want to see right
I've
now.
seen him go top
it-
12 in a
but-
startup
But we expect
before he
this,
was
just
even
like David.
played in the NFL.
Very true. But David Montgomery. David Montgomery has been one of the best running backs in the league the last few weeks. But we also kind of saw it coming because
People
of his
also
schedule.
draft off recency bias. So I think when
Very
people
much.
are doing their dynasty startups, it's going to be probably a lot of people like to do them in February, March sometimes. Make sure to get them in before the NFL draft. And
You know what? I'm actually going to pull up DLF football now that you said that. I'm going to see. I think they updated December's draft. Why don't you keep
I would
talking?
guarantee you see him go top 10 in a startup this year.
I don't know. I don't see
I'll
it.
guarantee you see it.
I guarantee.
I mean, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I'm
depending on
so
the
up-
startups you join this offseason, but I guarantee you see him go top 10.
I'm not joining any more leagues. Let's make that clear, Antonio.
We can wrap this up though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll
right.
we'll have our 2020 redraft coming up, right, guys?
Oh yeah, right after the season, we'll probably
Yeah, so we'll talk about it then.
dive right into that. But while I know we're on here, and we can go another second because I'm actually got the ADP pulled up here right now, so I want to take a look and see where he's going to be. Right now for December, Jonathan Taylor RB12, 19 overall. So Chubb, CEH, Miles Sanders, Derrick Henry, Zeke, Jacobs, Swift is RB4.
What?
Kamara, Barkley, and McCaffrey.
See, I don't
looking at
agree
that
with
list though. So tell me when you would take Jonathan Taylor over this person. All right, Alvin Kamara,
No.
Delvin Cook. Just
No.
stop me. Yeah, stop me when you would. DeAndre Swift.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll take Jonathan Taylor.
Maybe.
All right, Josh Jacobs,
Jonathan
Is-
Taylor.
Nah.
Zeke Elliott,
Jonathan Taylor.
Derrick Henry,
Jonathan Taylor.
Miles Sanders.
Jonathan Taylor.
No.
All right, Eric.
No chance in hell.
Thanks for everybody listening this week. We're going to talk a lot more about Jonathan Taylor. Make sure to tweet at Eric at EricD_FF so you can talk to him about that. Make sure to tweet at me at Antonio Denisi FF. You can follow Keenan at Keenan_716. And
At
make
me.
sure to check out the pod at Dynasty Mafia_FF. Thanks
Don't
for
add.
listening. Thanks for watching. Don't add us, whatever you want. Make sure to check out the website, dynastymafiapodcast.network. We've got a lot of good articles down there, especially from Pope's FFH, Jeremy Popelars. Thank you so much. Shout out to him. And good luck this week, everybody. Mafia out.